Out and About Marathon Town with Mr. Marathon himself, Mike Puto.
Hello everybody, Mike Puto, Mr. Marathon, and we're continuing our Out and About Marathon series with Parks and Recreation. Let's go see what's going on and let's have some fun today. Hello everybody, Mike Puto, Mr. Marathon here. And our Out and About Marathon series, you gotta love where we are today. This is huge. We're at the Turtle Hospital where we rescue, rehab, and release with Richie Moretti. He's been doing this for I don't know how many years, maybe 20, 25 years. It's unbelievable what we can do here. We're gonna go inside and have some fun. You gotta follow me. This is gonna be great. Turtle Hospital with Richie Moretti, who is the director and founder of the Turtle Hospital. And Richie, thanks for having us here.
Well, it's nice to have you here.
And if you would, what we're trying to find out so we can get out to the public here is just when was the Turtle Hospital founded? How did it get started? Give us a little time frame of what you've been through here.
I'll give you a quick 30 years.
All right.
I came down during the Mariel boat lift in 1980 to rescue people. I had a fast boat and there were people drowning between Cuba and the United States. So I thought, well, we'll come down and rescue people. And got here and they didn't want our help. And we wound up fishing and I found out I loved the Florida Keys. And there was an opportunity to buy a little motel. And it was back in 1980. And I bought it and started coming down on the weekends and fixing it up. And I thought, wow, this is great. I mean, I was in Orlando. I thought I was at the top of the food chain. I had a plane, I had boats and horses, and I thought I was really happy. And I bought this old motel, and the people that lived there, they were making maybe $200 a week as a waiter, and they were living in some of the rooms. And I found out they were happier than I was. So about 4 years later, I started getting a little bit of stress. I had 125 mechanics in Orlando working on Volkswagens, and I decided to retire for my 40th birthday. So I came to go fishing. So I showed up in Marathon with a 50-foot boat and a lady friend, Tina Brown, and she wanted to be a fishing captain, so she got a 24-foot boat and I had a 50-foot boat, and we went fishing all the time, and that was great. Back in 1984, we won the Triple Crown, and we were hot fishermen. And you know, we got to February and it was kind of rough offshore and there wasn't any fish. And we asked, what are those boats doing under the 7 Mile Bridge with those orange buoys? And they said, well, they're tarpon fishing. I said, what do you do with tarpon? They said, oh, you catch them, you pat them on the head and you let them go or bring them in for their picture. Well, we went out there and we spent about 2 weeks before we finally caught, and Tina caught her first tarpon. And she absolutely was thrilled. We broke off the first half a dozen or so. So she couldn't make up her mind. In those days, we weren't very smart. We used to hang a tarpon up for their picture. Nobody would do that now, or just let them go, you know, by just tapping them and letting them go. Well, she couldn't make up her mind, so we decided that I'd put a freshwater pool in, so why don't we bring her tarpon in and throw it in our saltwater pool, and that way she could make up her mind and the fish wouldn't die while she was waiting, you know. So we brought this 120-pound tarpon in, and that was our first pet in the saltwater pool. Well, because it became so much fun playing with him that we had to put my first tarpon, my daughters, my attorneys. And so over the next year, we filled it with a school of tarpon and snook and bonefish. And we had jewfish, we had sawfish, we had lobsters that would eat out of our hands. Well, all the children up at Sumor they all wanted to come by and see all the fish. So the schools asked if we would do a little program, you know, for the local schools. I thought, well, we could do that because we'd go out on the outer islands and we'd find a starfish or a conch up on the beach. And we thought, you know, children just don't know that these were living animals. So, you know, I have no education, so I just started teaching very basic, like when you take something out of the ocean, hold your breath. And when you have to breathe, put them back in. And so we started doing these educational programs back in 1985. Well, then something new came along. We're back there and we're enjoying the children, and we started, like I say, seeing them in '85, but all of a sudden they start talking about these green sea turtles. And I don't know what they're talking about. They were talking about the Ninja Turtles. They had just done the movie, the Ninja Turtles.
I remember it well, yes sir.
And they were so excited. I went to the state, I said, how do I get a green sea turtle for my educational program? And the state said, they're endangered, you can't have them for education. And then they put a little caveat, unless you do something for them. And I said, what do you need? They said, well, we need a rehabber. I said, well, what's that? They said, well, yeah, if a turtle gets hit by a boat, you take it to the vet and you pay the bill, you buy the medicine, you pay the bill, you buy the food, you pay the bill, and when they're healthy, you let them go. Well, that was pretty close what I used to do in Orlando fixing Volkswagens.
Okay.
Because in those days, I had to find the best mechanics and the best parts. And so now I have to find the best vets. And you know, we've done that with Doug Mader. He's our chief vet and keeps our turtles kicking right along. And we have to find the best meds for our turtles. So kind of the same.
Yeah, good point. And you've done a great job with that. It's really kind of neat how you've organized everything.
And you know, the nice part about it is people used to love the work I would do on their Volkswagens, but every now and then people complain about a bill. Well, this is great, we pay the bill. Those turtles that come in have no insurance. We don't wonder, people will come in here and say, how do you use an endoscope, a little TV camera to go inside and follow it with a laser? They'll say, can you afford this? I mean, you can see the type of equipment we have.
It's huge.
But you know, we look at each turtle as that one turtle might make a difference, or whether your grandchildren will get to see a sea turtle. When an animal becomes an endangered species, then each one becomes very, very precious. So we fight for every turtle that comes in.
No, you do a great job, and I know that not only through the education side, but you know, we've been on a lot of different programs that you invited me to come down with, and tell us a little bit about the you know, Jack Hanna when he was here and all that. Just let you know, and in reference to the releasing of the turtle, I think that's very, very big on how it goes through the program.
You know, over the years, we've probably done as much fixing turtles individually. We've probably done more good with all of the amount of publicity that people can see. There's a place in the Keys that a turtle can come and will get the best care, and that's why all our locals are so good about when they find a turtle that's wrapped up. Our commercial fishermen, they're always bringing us in. If an animal gets entangled, they'll bring it in. But that took 25 years. Remember, I started when they were in kindergarten seeing them. But over the years, the amount of people that have been here, right, to our ex-president, you know, President Carter was here releasing a turtle with us. It just shows how important they are, and it makes it hard for people to discard them. I mean, people will call us from their boat and say, we found one out here that was hit by a boat. He's dead, and he's kind of dead and smelly. And I said, well, just take a picture and just give us the coordinates and we'll do a report from here. But even a dead one, we like to know. That way we know what's happening to them.
Yeah, no, I've had fun working with you the same way when I've been out in the boat, and we found a dead one, and we brought it in. It was able at least to get it in the boat, brought it into the back. We've also brought in a couple that were injured. Called you. I was lucky to have your cell phone, as they say. Say, Richie, bring it in, Mike. We're ready to go. Met us at the dock. And it was really kind of neat, you know, be able to, you know, do something and preserve this turtle, save the turtle, and you know, they're very valuable to us, without a doubt. You've done a phenomenal job here with your staff, and I mean, we got a hospital. I mean, this is really phenomenal.
Well, you know, and it's always changing shape. Years ago, the motel used to fund it, and then Wilma took out the motel. And we've done the educational programs. We do those a few times a day. And that's how we pay all the bills. I donate the property for $1 a year. And the educational programs and all the folks that come through here. Now, if I look at it in hindsight, I would say, I wish I had never opened the motel. I wish we had had educational programs for 25 years. I'd have an army of turtle lovers by now.
Yeah, well, but it's building up. I mean, you know, it's you know, we've come a long way, and again, you know, here you are coming up for the Mariel boat lift, and now you buy a motel. That's kind of awesome.
And come to kill fish and wind up saving turtles.
Exactly. But no, this is really a huge program, and it's nice, the sterile area that you've got here. Everything that we do is done for the turtles, and again, with what you're going through doing here, we're saving the turtles, and whether it be a small one like this size,
absolutely,
you know, or to the huge ones, you know, they'll have a chance to survive, and including the hatchlings. When we did the hatchling thing out on Sombrero Beach there, you were big in that, and we were able to save the hatchlings and make sure they got back to the water. And,
you know, we still do that. I took one the other day. I had a green that was maybe a little bigger than a 50-cent piece, and I took it about halfway to Cuba, and we like them way out on the easterly edge of the Gulf Stream. The Gulf Stream runs around, and when it goes up past North Carolina, it splits.
Sure.
The outside edge goes to the Azores. the inside edge goes to Greenland. I never get a card from Greenland. So when we release turtles, we like them way out there. But before we release the turtle, we troll up and down to make sure there's no mahi-mahi and no wahoos. So we'll troll a little bit, and if we don't catch any fish, that's our favorite spot, because then we'll put the turtle right in the middle of that weed line that's heading toward North Carolina.
Yeah, and it's always been fun to participate in your releases. You know, whether it was at Little Duck Key or whether we had Ileana was here and we had the governor here, and we're releasing them off the 7 Mile Bridge, and it's you know, and they were a little bit bigger turtle, and into the water they went, and it was kind of neat to be able to say, we brought this one in, wasn't sure it was going to make it, been here 6, 7, 8 months, boom, now it's in the water, and it gives you a kind of a neat feeling that, hey, we've really done some good here, and you know, it'd be nice if you could, as I say, tag them and find out how many babies they had.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
You know, we look at each one as just critical.
Yes.
And everything we can do, and people say they'll see us taking babies out in the ocean, say, why don't you grow them up? No, you have to keep them as natural as you can. Like our beaches, when you stay at a motel here in town, they'll usually have something to hang on the door that'll say, please close your drapes during the summer so you don't, you know, attract the turtles. So the whole community works together, whether it's our commercial fishermen, our charter boat captains, or motel owners. They all work making sure that the beaches don't get any light, and make sure that the fishing gear don't get tangled around. We all work together.
Well, and it's a great program, and you know, what you've done is just unbelievable. I mean, it's really you know, you're a legend, and in reference to saving the turtles, and I've been very pleased to have been part of that with you. You know, you've called me up and said, hey, we've got this going on, and be able to go out in the boat with you and do this. This is kind of neat, and it's nice to have you as a friend and what you do here in Marathon. Well,
thank you so much, and I have to say, as many things as we've done over the last 25, 30 years, when we had that foot of rain that fell in an hour, and you came and kept the hospital from flooding. I'll never forget that.
Well, no problem. Thank you for having us here. This is really a totally awesome place. And Richie, thank you very much for having us be part of your program here. Until next time, gang, you gotta love it.